Good morning, everyone. It is day 34. I am headed to the mountain. We are going on a morning hike. I hope you are incorporating some variety into your activity every day. And this is my variety, hiking. I actually, when I was filling up my water bottle, I had the biggest smile and I just got so excited. I'm like, wow. So, burst of energy. It is 5:57 in the morning. I will see you on the mountain. Good morning, everyone. This is the mountain that I am getting ready to hike, and I'm going to the first peak. It's really nice because it only takes a half hour to get to the peak and back down, and it is a very steep incline, so it's really good cardio in a short amount of time, so that's really nice. And it's about 575 feet. So that is Lone Mountain. It's interesting because it's one mountain that's by itself. The rest of the mountains, as you can see in Vegas, they're out a little further and they surround our city. So in order to get in or out of Vegas, if you want to drive or rollerblade or walk, you would have to go over a large mountain range. But this mountain is just in the center. Not really the center, I live kind of on the edge, but it's by itself. So this is the mountain I'm hiking today. Hi everyone, we are at the mountain. As you can see behind me, I have on the hat that I bought when I was in Malta. One of my friends and I walked around Malta and ate delicious food and just talked and had so much fun, and I bought this hat and this visor. But I'm at the base of the mountain. You can see the mountain behind me, and that is the trail I'm going to walk up. Right there. I'm going up to that first peak right there. So I will film when I'm there. But there's a park on the other side of this mountain, and I used to go to that park every day and walk. And I looked at the top of this mountain and I thought, one day before I leave Las Vegas, before I move, I will hike to the top of that. And I would look at it every day for the course of over a year, and one day I saw something moving on top. And I was like, oh my goodness, because I looked at it for so long, I knew the range and I knew where the peaks were, and it was different and it was moving, and I realized there were people up there, and I got really scared, and I thought, well, should I call for help? It was dusk. So I thought, will they be able to get back down? And after that, periodically I noticed something moving on top, and I noticed that people were up there, and I just thought, those must be mountain climbers, experienced. I bet they have equipment. But I had the thought also that I would do it one day. So finally, I started walking up the mountain one day with my cute little Cocker Spaniel, Honey Bunny. And I wasn't on this side, I was on the other side. So I started walking up, and I got to a point where it was so steep, I was on my knees and hands to get up, and I thought, if it's this steep going up, how am I going to get down? So I turned around, went back to the bottom, and then there was a man, and I'm assuming it was his wife, and he had like a baby on his back in like one of those baby backpacks. And they were walking around the mountain, so I just followed them because I was determined. I'm like, this mountain, I have to see it. I have to get there. So I followed them around the mountain. We kept going, and I got to a point where I saw this trail, and I thought, oh my goodness. And that is the trail that I just pointed out. You can see it. See, there's someone there right now walking it. And that's the trail. So for that year and a half, and this is where the first peak is, for that year and a half, I didn't realize that on the other side was a trail taking you to the top. And I think I look at that as kind of a metaphor for life. There are things in life that we might decide to do that seem so difficult and just seem insurmountable. And then when you see someone doing it, you just think, well, they must be prepared and trained and experts. And and then once you start, you would maybe start in a way that it would take an expert. I mean, the area that I started at, it would have taken someone more experienced, or maybe not going up with a puppy, or someone who said they'd go up that way and find a different way to go down, but someone with a little more climbing experience than I had with my little Cocker Spaniel. But by simply walking around the mountain, there was a trail that led me up to the same peak that I was headed to from the other side. And that's just a metaphor for life, that once you have to first decide you can do it and know you're going to do it. I knew I was climbing to the top of Lone Mountain, and then I walked around and there was a trail. So I think about that sometimes, and I love to share that story. But I am now on the mountain. And so I really, because when I do things, I like to do it without stopping. So when I hike the mountain, I don't stop. So I need all of the air I can get for breathing. So I will see you at the top. Okay. There's already some people heading down. I'm so glad to be here. Wow. I'm in the middle. I'll see you at the top. I am about 3/4 of the way up. This is that last stretch. That is where I've come from. And if you look closely, you can see people. Those dark spots, those are people dressed in black walking down. When I first filmed, I was down here. Then we went up, up, up. I said hello right here. We went up some more, and now we are almost at the top. Look at that. That's the peak, right where that light is. That light, the sun, that's the peak. And that is beautiful. Wow. That's like a postcard. A Snapback Body Raw postcard. I guess I've been building more endurance than I realized on my morning walks. So here we are at the first peak, and you can see down below, there's a park down there, right down there. This is the equestrian park, and you can see part of a trail that leads to a little trail system that leads to another really beautiful park that's here. But the first time I tried to hike up this mountain, I went that way. I was headed up this way, and it was really steep. So then the story I was telling you earlier, I headed around. This trail wasn't here yet. It wasn't developed. When I did that, there was no equestrian park. This was just, this was a mountain. And there was a grassy knoll over here. There was a park there, but none of this was here. None of this trail system wasn't here. But then when I saw the husband and wife and baby on the back in the backpack, they were walking in this direction, so I followed them and we went around the mountain. So that was a really nice discovery and a metaphor for life. It's about 6:15 in the morning. There are a lot of people up here enjoying their day on the mountain. There's a lot of good energy at the top. You just have room to breathe and say hi. You have to leave everything else at the bottom in order to get up here. And to get to the top and down, that second peak, it only takes an hour. So I used to do that every morning, and it was just a fantastic way to begin the day. Around September, when you're up here, you can see the sunrise. And if you can see out into the distance, this is Las Vegas. And those mountains there, that's the other side of Vegas. That's the east side of Vegas. So Vegas is surrounded by mountains. If you think of a bowl that you might eat cereal in, Vegas would be at the bottom of the bowl. And the sides of the bowl would be equivalent to the mountains. And so we are completely surrounded in mountains. This is Vegas. I live very close to the mountains. I live about right there. So it's really nice. The mountains are right in my backyard. But this is all of Vegas. The Vegas that most people are familiar with, the Strip. You can see a little bit of that, and that is there. But that's Las Vegas. So wherever you are in the world, you have now seen Las Vegas from the mountaintop. Everything else is easy. All right, I am going to head back down. I'm glad to find out how easy this hike was. I really thought it would be harder, and it is June the 9th. Today's June the 9th. I had surgery on March the 6th. You can see my shadow. Look at me. Look how tall. That's my superhero shadow. That's me. See that? Superhero. That's my head. That's my shadow as well. That's not a person, that's me. I just had this idea that it was going to be really difficult, and it really wasn't. It was enjoyable. I mean, if I had to think of one word, one adjective to describe this walk, it would be enjoyable. But my thought of it, when I thought of coming, was that it would be difficult, but I would do it. And actually it was enjoyable. And I still did it. And there you can see the trail again that leads down. And I parked over here. And there's a piece of blue glass. For those of you who are Abers. I'm at like a steep part, so I'm trying to figure out how to get down. I've been thinking about this hike for so long, and the idea that I had of it compared to how it ended up being, completely different. I'm so excited. It feels every second of this was excellent, was good, was exciting, was encouraging, was inspiring. Even the parts when I needed every breath of air to breathe, I still felt good. And I'm glad we're here. This has been a good walk. It's been a good day. I'm glad I did it. There's a quote that I love that says, no one ever climbed to the top of the mountain, and when they got to the top said that they wish they wouldn't have done it. And that's so true. It's really nice. I'm glad to be here again. It's incredible what our bodies can do when we allow it, and when we know they can. When we know our body can do it. It's incredible. That's our morning hike. Yay. There is a quote that I want to share with you, and it popped up from my calendar as a notification, and I have it pop up for me every day. And the quote is, if it feels good, I give it my full attention. If it doesn't, I don't look at it at all. That's where I am at this point in my life. If it feels good, I give it my full attention. If it doesn't, I don't look at it at all. And this mountain felt good. I gave it my full attention for a half hour. And it felt good every minute. Even when I needed every breath of air to breathe, it still felt good. That's the trail. That's where we were. And that is the first peak right there. That's the first peak. But we did it. I'm glad you came with me. Enjoy your Saturday. Find an exercise that you love and do that